part 1 on the worst ever experience I had of getting recognized. Hey guys, it's Energy, and get ready with me while I tell you guys about the worst ever experience I had with being recognized. Okay, so like for some background info, this was my first time getting recognized. My family from back home had came to visit us and they wanted to get some shopping done. My grandma, being my grandma, suggested we go to Ross because the prices are so good and they have such good things. She was just glazing the crap out of Ross, so my family was like, whoa, let's go. It was like April, and at this time I hadn't been to a Ross in so long because, like, if I'm being so honest, I genuinely hate their clothing. Like, the last time I had stepped into a Ross was in like January, and it's so micro trend and there's bows on everything, and it pisses me off. My mom knew this, so she was like, "Bye, Nishi, we're going to Ross." And I was like, "Wait, let me come." At this time, I was so obsessed with volleyball, and the only reason I wanted to go was so that I could go buy a volleyball. And also, I needed a chair for my vanity. I almost forgot that, which, like, I still don't have one. It was also this time where I had like 200,000 followers, and like my mutuals that have had less followers than me, like, I'm not saying that matters, but like they were getting recognized, and I was like, when is it my turn to get recognized? Like, I just wanted to get recognized so badly. This is why people say, be careful what you wish for. So we all got into the car, and then we got to the Ross, and mind you, it's Ross. I look so bummy. I look terrible. Why would I dress up for Ross? And by bummy, I mean my hair's tangled, I'm wearing ugly sweats, a black hoodie filled with white cat fur, and barefaced. We get into the Ross, and I couldn't find the sports section, but I immediately saw the chairs, and I was like, oh yeah, I need a chair for my vanity. So I went over there. I get to the chairs, and they're on like this shelf that's like 2 levels, so there's chairs down here, and then there's chairs up here. And then on the bottom level, there's 3 little girls. They made a basket, and they were just like opening like things from inside the store in there and just messing with it. I saw them, and when they saw me looking at them, they started to like all nervously laugh, like really loudly. They were like opening lip glosses and putting it all over their face, like they were just doing weird stuff. And like these girls look no older than 5th graders. Anyways, I just minded my own business. Like, I really didn't care. I was like, where are your parents at? But like, whatever. I just looked at the chairs, and I found one that I actually really ended up liking. So I called my mom. I was like, oh, can you come over here? And she was like, wait, I'm helping your grandma return something. So I just stood there and waited as I looked at the other chairs to see if there was anything else that I liked. And they were like looking at me really hard. A lot of people get like recognized when they hit like 100K, but I had like 200K. So every single time that someone would look at me really hard in public, I'd be like, am I about to get recognized? So that was my thought process, and I was like, why are they looking at me really hard? Like, do they know who I am? Anyways, my mom was taking too long, so I just started to like wander off and look for the sports section so I can go get my volleyball. I started walking through like a clothing aisle, and I noticed that they were behind me, but I was like, okay, maybe it's just like a coincidence. I was looking around, right, and I just couldn't find the sports section, and I noticed that every single turn I took, they were behind me and they were laughing. This was around the time where I like actually started to get scared because like, why am I being chased? It was April, and the Why So Serious meme was popular, and I saw like this painting of the Joker, and I was like, oh my god, let me go take a picture of that. And this is when I knew I was being followed, because tell me why. They go into that aisle, and they start looking at an ugly painting that no one would ever buy. They're like right next to me, by the way. At this point, y'all, I low-key just like start speed walking away. Like I'm basically running. At this point, I had also circled around the entire store twice. And every single turn they were there, so I knew they were following me. I had finally stopped because I found the sports section after so long for looking, but they only had soccer balls. And I was about to leave when I heard one of the little girls say, go, just go. And I already knew one of them was gonna come up to me. So you know what I did? I started to run, and then I heard footsteps behind me. And she said, excuse me! And so I stopped.
Come back for part 2.